Good morning. Yeah, I'm having my coffee. Such a rough day at court yesterday. You know, I was pretty sure that when I left, okay, this is it. It's over with. The judge really hates me, and I don't even know why. I've never done anything to the judge, but she clearly wants to just stick it to me. Oh my gosh. So yeah, okay, so here's the minutes from yesterday. As you see, Linda Crosnoe, defendant, present. Kathleen Curtis and Remy Hutchins, the defendants not present, have never been present since the collection process started. And then me, of course, Robin Kelly, the plaintiff. You know, if I didn't have the word plaintiff next to me, I would not believe I am the plaintiff in this case. I have been treated like the criminal the entire time. It's insane. So, hearing on request for court order in which I had requested that the money, you know, the order for me to return that money be overturned because due to all the mistakes that took place in that courtroom, none made by me, all made by the clerk's office, because I don't have access to that magical stamp, right? And of course, the commissioner herself made most of the mistakes by not terminating that writ, not notifying me that that writ was not legit or allowed or whatever. The sheriff, you know, they took the money. I didn't take the money out of the checking account. And let's not forget, Crosnoe does owe me that money. And all that money, you know, the commissioner keeps claiming I'm not entitled to the money. As the plaintiff, the judgment creditor, I'm entitled to collect that money in whatever means I need to use to collect that judgment. And I wish it now, obviously, I never had sued this person. My neighbor, she's a fucking loon. She really is. She's evil to the core. And now I can see why. You know, it's like it pays to be a criminal, obviously. That's why I guess criminals are criminals. So here it goes. All right, so for the recording at 9:44 a.m., Miss Kelly addresses the court. Ms. Crosnoe addresses the court. Ms. Kelly addresses the court with additional information. The court provides a concise amount of case background and previous agreement between parties. The court issues a warning to the plaintiff not to interrupt the court or risk being held in contempt. And of course, before the court issued that warning to me, I was saying, Your Honor, you made the mistake by not terminating that writ. And she was falsely accusing me of intentionally omitting the fact that I had gotten the money from the sheriff. I didn't intentionally omit anything. But okay, anyway, so the court issues the warning to the plaintiff not to interrupt the court. Do not say another word. The court notes that the plaintiff, Miss Kelly, has left the courtroom during session and has thrown money at the defendant, Miss Crosnoe. The court directs bailiff to count the money thrown at defendant. The court notes the amount thrown at defendant is $873, which came directly from the envelope that the sheriff, the check came in, right? It was for $873. The court finds and orders that the motion request for order is denied as usual. And the plaintiff shall return $888 with an additional $125 for bank costs to the poor defendant. In open court, the defendant received $873 and shall be credited at $1,113 owed to the defendant by plaintiff. So I still suppose we have to pay $140 to the defendant. Yeah, she could sue me for it. So yeah, I'll be ordering that audio because, you know, clearly what's written on the minutes doesn't explain the audio part. And like I said, I'm the plaintiff, the judgment creditor. There is no reason I should have been turned into the judgment Debtor. It is a small claims case. And I only sued for $1,500. And after 7 years, I owe the defendant, the judgment debtor, the criminal. The person who destroyed my property is still destroying my property. The person who I had to get a restraining order against. The person who lied to the courthouse and claimed I punched her when she punched herself. That's why I got the judgment. Because she, you know. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm getting to become this way. No, it's a small win, obviously, for Crosnoe and every other criminal out there. Clearly, they have incentive to commit crimes when apparently they get paid for it at the end of the collection process. But I didn't do anything to warrant my being punished for trying to collect the money. That's my right as the judgment creditor to try and collect the money. And I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't do anything wrong. It was, all the mistakes made were in the clerk's office and the courthouse, the judge herself, who apparently is not a very good judge because she never reads anything. She never enforces the law. And the law is she was supposed to overturn this. She was supposed to terminate my... so she was supposed to terminate that contract that existed between the defendant and me due to breach of contract. Not just because she missed a bunch of payments, but because she was still willfully destroying my property. So she clearly signed that contract in bad faith. And, you know, the judge said, no, I'm not going to end this contract. I'm going to force you to stay in it. And so I went after defendants number 2 and number 3, and then the clerk said, you can't go after number 2 and 3. You can only go after number 1. And I said, no, the judge said I could go after number 2 and 3 because all 3 are held liable. So the clerks, they issued the writ of execution against Linda Crosnoe and would not put on the names Remy Hutchins and Kathleen Curtis. So then, okay, the judge now thinks I'm doing a bait and switch. But from the very beginning, she wouldn't let me see their driver's license. I paid $170 at the appearance and examination debtor hearing just to see that driver's license. And I was told, no, you don't get to see it, but thank you for the $170. And then, you know, I had to enter the contract because she had already gone almost 2 years without even making a payment to me after the judge had awarded me the money. So I entered the contract at $50 a month. And then she got mad because I had the lien on her house, and she was mad every time she had to make a payment, she'd destroy something. My fence. You know, I had a whole entire fence. I had to put up that wrought iron fence, right? That was $1,600. And then she started destroying my lighting, my camera. So yeah, I wanted to end that settlement agreement. The judge denied me that. So then I said I would not accept any payments from her. You know, I wanted no communication with my neighbor because she's such a loon. And my lawyer stepped in and said she can send the payments to me. And of course she didn't. So then I issued the writ, and I guess the clerks did. The courthouse issued the writ, and they seized the money out of her checking account, and then the judge gave her back all the money, $1,900, which was due to me because of cost after judgment, interest. It all adds up, you know. And the judge forgot or did not. She made the mistake, the error, not to terminate that writ. She could have notified me, the clerks, the sheriff, anybody. She did not do that. So the writ expired naturally. And I tried explaining this to the judge. She doesn't believe me, apparently. Like I said, I have no access to that frickin' stamp. Then I guess on the 311 hearing where my lawyer was there, and she forced me to settle for $405 because I'm not entitled to cost after judgment. I'm not entitled to interest. And I guess wasn't even entitled to be in that courtroom, according to her. But so I settled for it, right? I removed the lien just to end the case. And then Ms. Crosnoe, after the case is over with, after the lien is removed, demands I repay her the money that the sheriff took out. And she was, at that time, required to file a claim of exemption, did not do so. And the judge accused me of not telling the judge at the 311 hearing that money had been seized from her checking account. The judge herself was notified that the money was taken out of her account. It wasn't my responsibility to tell the judge, by the way, the sheriff took some more money out of Crosnoe's account, because Crosnoe told her that I had done that. So it wasn't my responsibility. You know, I thought everybody knew. Anyway, so the judge decided I'm a bad person and I need to repay Crosnoe all that money, which was partial judgment technically. And so, yeah, after 7 years, I went from being judgment creditor to judgment debtor. And I wasn't allowed to even point out the mistakes made in the courtroom by the judge herself. Commissioner. I voted for her for judge, you know. I even told all my friends to do it because I wanted to get her out of that courtroom since she refused to recuse herself. Because she is biased. She has treated the defendant like she's some sweet little old lady. And I'm the bully for trying to collect the money. And I'm the sweet little old lady. Obviously, everybody that's been following this whole situation knows that my neighbor is just evil to the core. She has destroyed so many fences, so many cameras, so much lighting. And her friend John Matson has run me off the road, keyed up my car. You know, like I said, I had to get a restraining order against this person. And every judge that I've gone before understands that I've been able to prove that my neighbor is not a nice person. And that's why I was awarded the judgment. And somehow this particular commissioner feels that I'm the bad guy here. And I deserve to be punished for trying to collect the money and that I'm not entitled to the money. And she's not following the rule because I am entitled to collect that money. And she has denied me and blocked me every opportunity to try and get that money and then turned me into the judgment debtor. So yeah, I'm a little upset. But, okay, so apparently I still owe the neighbor, the crazy neighbor, who I have a restraining order against. So yeah, long story short, Commissioner Julia Snyder turned me from the judgment creditor into the judgment debtor, and even is making me pay more money, right? Yeah, I threw the $873 at Crosnoe because that's exactly what I got. You know, because the sheriff takes her $15 whatever fee for the check, but she demanded I give her more money, late fees, or what, I don't know, overdraft fees with her checking account. And the judge said, here, let's make sure you get that too. Oh my God. You know, I had to settle for $405, right? The judgment was $1,500. I had to settle for $405, and that money I actually had to give to my lawyer because he was there on 311. And, you know, he ain't cheap. So I actually, you know, I spent 7 years trying to hold my neighbor accountable for all the destruction she did to this property, for all her actions against me and my family. Attended multiple court dates, went to the post office multiple times, you know, filed paperwork after paperwork, had to buy a printer to file all that paperwork. I have jumped through so many hoops, and somehow went from being the judgment creditor to being punished for being the judgment creditor, and now I'm the judgment debtor. And that $873 that I threw at my neighbor is not enough. You know, seriously, that tells you that the commissioner really, for whatever reason, has a problem with me. She could have just said, well, let's just end it here. You know, you got 873. Walk away, Miss Crosnoe. Let's just be done with this. It's been 7 years. But no! Let's punish the judgment creditor just a little bit more. Yeah, let's make sure she has to give you the late fee or the overdraft fee on top of it. But we made sure she had to settle for $405 and that she removed that lien from your property. But, you know, really, truly, I had to throw the money at my neighbor because I got tired of Commissioner Julia Snyder telling me I'm not entitled to collect the money. I'm not entitled to cost after judgment. Every other plaintiff is, but me, I'm not. I'm not entitled to collect interest. Every other plaintiff is. Every financial interaction, there is interest attached, okay? Especially after 7 years of just a headache. Okay, so, and then for her to falsely accuse me of doing a bait and switch and falsely accuse me of withholding information about it, I guess this $888 that the sheriff seized. I didn't seize. Like I said, I didn't do anything illegal. But okay. Let my, I guess, experience with the court system be a warning to you. Don't sue anybody. It ain't worth it, because if you happen to end up in front of Commissioner Julia Snyder, after all the other judges agreed you deserve money, she's going to make sure you don't feel good about going after that money, and she's going to tell you so, that you're not entitled to get that money, and she's going to accuse you of committing crimes and turning you into the judgment debtor. I didn't do anything to be turned into the judgment debtor. Clearly, why would I have spent 7 years chasing down, trying to hold my neighbor accountable for all her actions? And I had to get a restraining order against her because she's still destroying my property. And apparently, the judge is going to still, in the civil case, so yeah. Commissioner Snyder, if you're watching this, I just personally want to say to you that, you know, when I go to sleep at night, I still know the truth. I still know the facts. And what you did in that courtroom, the mistakes that you made in that courtroom regarding that writ of execution, doesn't fall on my shoulders. And it shouldn't fall on my shoulders. You shouldn't be holding me liable for your mistakes. The clerks, they made the mistake because you couldn't convey to them what you wanted. They issued that writ to Linda Crosnoe. And there is no Remy Hutchins on it, no Kathleen Curtis. And you know that. And had you read the paperwork, you would know that. And you're punishing me for trying to collect the money that other judges said I deserved. And you turned me from the judgment creditor into the judgment debtor. So yeah, I go to sleep at night knowing that I did nothing wrong. And you're making me pay for your mistakes. So, I guess sleep well, huh? But, Crosnoe is going to have to sue me for that additional $140 you're claiming I have to pay her. That was my money. And I was entitled to cost after judgment, and you know that. I was entitled to interest, and you know that. And to sit there and belittle me and tell me how I don't deserve anything. Yeah, to sit there and just keep belittling me in front of everybody and tell me I'm in contempt of court for speaking, watching the defendant laugh. You know, I'm glad you guys all had a good time. But, yeah, like I said, I'm going to sleep at night knowing the truth, knowing the facts. And the facts should have been what was important in that courtroom. So, yeah, I guess I have no choice but talk to the Judiciary Committee. So, and see if maybe they can point out that I was the plaintiff here. And you really didn't need to punish me for trying to collect that money. It was my money. I was entitled to it.